Hi, I'm Tom, and I just wanted to share my experience of the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous through the lens of the coronavirus. I've been sheltering in place. I'm in Los Angeles, West Los Angeles, so I've been sheltering in place for the last 4 days. Sheltering in place. Lovely euphemism for on lockdown or in solitary confinement. But it sounds almost cozy, doesn't it? I'm sheltering in place in Los Angeles. But I digress. The first step of Alcoholics Anonymous is what? We admitted we were powerless over alcohol / drugs / pornography / coronavirus, whatever the case, and that our lives had become unmanageable. That's where we're going right now. So first thing we have to do is we have to admit that there's a problem that we are unable to handle on our own. Simple as that. Under our own power, it confounds us. For me, the coronavirus makes it so much more clear that there are problems that I cannot manage on my own, that are outside of my scope of power. But then, how do we admit that we have anxiety, that we have pain, that we have fear, that we can't overcome by ourselves? It's not an easy thing to do. And especially when we're in isolation, this is going to be a test for all of us in recovery. No doubt about it. Isolation is the number one predictor of relapse. So this just means that we're going to have to stay more connected. We're going to have to do more of the work on a daily basis, but we got plenty of time to do it. So let's get to work. Because really, when it comes down to it, we get through coronavirus and addiction the same way. We admit our fear of the unknown that awaits us, right? We don't give in to that fear. We step into that fear with courage, but we have to admit the fear in the first place. We need to know the scope of the problem. And all along, we remember that the entire process, no matter what we're working on, it's all going to be handled one day at a time, really 1 minute at a time, especially now. So what will my life be like when I give up my addiction? Who will be my friends? What am I going to do? When I'm home alone at night with my thoughts, how am I going to get through that without my go-to solution? I remember when I was quitting drinking 7.5 years ago. Well, I've been quitting drinking for longer than that, but that's when I did. I remember thinking all these things, but my mind wouldn't produce an answer to any of them. It couldn't. It was in uncharted territory. I had no frame of reference for what was going to happen in the future. And that is why it's so necessary that we surrender to whatever you want to call it, your higher power, the universe, God. And so now, with coronavirus having its way with the world, I have many of the same questions and many of the same fears. I have fears about the future that awaits us. I have fears about, who are my real friends? What will I do when I'm alone at night with my thoughts? And what is life going to be like when we come out the other side? So the parallels are there. And what I found is that when we're ready to admit all these things, something happens. The mind now knows the actual scope of the problem. And by your admission, you empower a power greater than yourself to get to work on the problem. You could say that's your higher self, your higher mind, higher power. No matter how many equations a mathematician has at her disposal, if she doesn't know what the problem is, there's no shot of solving it. Doesn't matter how brilliant she is. It doesn't matter if she's the top mathematician on the planet. If you don't know the problem, you can't find a solution. So we admit that we have a situation that confounds us, and that by trying to control it, we find ourselves unable. So we're powerless over it. We will talk more about the concept of powerlessness in our next video because that's going to take some space. We have a lot of associations with the word that are oftentimes hard to overcome, especially for newcomers. Almost everybody, there is some resistance to that idea. My name is Tom Deem, and my sobriety date is October 16th, 2012. And thank you for letting me share. We'll see you soon.